May I please have your attention for some few minutes? Okay, so this was the Dubois' bedroom. The house had 4 bedrooms, and they chose this as their main bedroom. The other 2 were used by them as offices, and we have a few of their personal effects in here. So these were his academic gowns and hoods, with the exception of the one he received from Berlin University, which is now the Humboldt University. And these were what he brought to Ghana. In 1963, Dr. Nkrumah had re-established the University of Ghana and chose his mentor to be the director, the first honorary degree holder from that school. And so that's the gown he wore. And then that other one, the other one, the black one, is from the Harvard University, where he graduated as the first black to have received his PhD in history and government in 1896. Dubois, from his Great Barrington High School, had loved to attend Harvard first, but the Harvard University had refused him entrance, and so he had to study at the Fisk University with the help of his high school principal and some clergymen. And from Fisk, he again knocked on the doors of the Harvard University. They refused to recognize his BA, but I always say that I think he was still the same black person they had rejected. The BA was just an excuse. And he had to obtain a cum laude in political economy in 1890 before they would allow him to go on and pursue his course at the university. And he proved them wrong by becoming the first black to have received his PhD in that department. And then we have a parking case right there. But there are 2 of them. There's one situated in the closet. This was a parking case that they had shipped a few of their items in. Then we have handwritten notes and manuscripts of theirs in the glass table. Then in the glass case behind you, there are some red books. Those were the first copies of the Encyclopedia Africana that he had worked on before he passed. So that was his reason for coming to Ghana. And he was able, within 2 years, together with the other professors and team members, gather information on 8 African countries, and those were published in the 3 red books. And then we have some family photographs of his. You can also tell that there are some Chinese gifts in here. The Duboises had sympathized with Chinese communism, and his 91st birthday was celebrated in China. The Chinese at that time held the day as a national holiday, instituted by Chairman Mao Zedong. They don't have it anymore, but he was presented with these tapestries. Now that informs us that Dubois had influenced quite a number of races, not only his race as black people, but others like the Asians. There's a Japanese professor who came here early this year, and he's hoping to publish a book in Dubois' memory as well. And he told me that there's a Dubois Center in China. I don't know where in China, but there's one as such. And then the room has a walk-in closet and a toilet. That is not for use, general public's use, but you can walk in and see how it looks like. These 2 rooms are the most original of the house. The main structure or the building has not been touched. It is exactly what the Duboises lived in whilst they were here. We've only changed the floors by tiling, and some parts are carpeted. We've changed the light bulbs and fixed a few of the ceilings. But the roof is the original roof, it's aluminium, and then the structure itself is what they had used. The doors are still the same doors, and these rooms have the same tiling and toilet facility they had used. So from here, from this room, we'll continue to some 2 more rooms that were used by them as their offices. Now those are small rooms, so you can decide to walk into one and do the other later. One of them was Dr. Dubois' study, and it has 1,500 books in there. They brought all those books by themselves. Those are original copies. The oldest book in here is from the 18th century, 17th century, sorry. And we have those that the Duboises had written also in there. Dubois is noted to have written 1,976. I didn't know that until we recently discovered it in one of his books. We used to say he had written 28 books. And
Wow.
Yeah, 1,976. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. So you find the 28 in a lot of books and papers stating that he had written 28. But that's, I would see if I can find that book and show you how many he
Do we have time for a question now?
I didn't hear somebody.
No, someone had a question.
Oh,
Go ahead.
No, she asked my question.
Okay, Chair. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't hear you well. What was the reason that you said he came to Ghana?
He came because Dr. Nkrumah had wanted an encyclopedia, which is known as Encyclopedia Africana, like a dictionary.
All right, and that was his reason for leaving the States and coming over?
Yes.
All right.
What year was that? What year was that?
In 1961. Okay. So now we can continue. Those two doors are opened. So.
No, I'm sorry. Zoom.
You want to take a picture
Of you?
of you?
I want to take a picture of you with your camera.
Okay.
Where you want me to take it at?
Anywhere against the
Okay.
screen.
I just want to, if I may, with my camera. Well, I want to take one with you.